A lovely good evening and welcome to our main news here on Icu Tv. To begin with, let's take a look at stories that are making headlines. HH tasks provinces to build self-sustaining economies. Over 500 foreigners arrested for illegal gold mining in Zambia. Malawian national arrested for fraud at UTH. And in our international news, death toll in Gaza rises as Israeli strikes kill over 40 Palestinians. In our sports news, Zesco lands safely in Gabon. Do join me on the other side as I bring to you the news in details. And with the news in details, my name is Emmanuel Zimba. President Hakainde Hichilema has urged every province in Zambia to focus on building its own economy in order to contribute meaningfully to the country's overall development. Speaking at Chinsali airstrip during his visit to Muchinga province, the president emphasized that the provinces endowed with fertile land, water, and natural resources must harness these assets to drive localized growth. President Hichilema is in Muchinga to officiate at the Provincial Expo, which he describes as a strategic platform for attracting investment, creating jobs, and generating wealth for the people.
Where I am going, where we are all going, but just to indicate that this expo, this investment forum is very important because we are on the drive to develop our economy, growth and more growth of our economy so that we can.
Over 500 foreign nationals have been arrested by the Department of Immigration for engaging in illegal gold mining across Zambia since February 2025, with 368 apprehended in Mufungwe district alone between June 4th and August 1st. The Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security says the arrests follow intensified surveillance and enforcement efforts aimed at curbing the participation of non-Zambians in unauthorized mining operations. Ministry Principal Public Relations Officer Mwila Kalaluka confirmed that those arrested include Tanzanians, Congolese, Mozambicans, Zimbabweans, Burundians, Chinese, Indians, Somalis, Malawians, Nigerians, Senegalese, and Angolians, none of whom were licensed to mine in Zambia. Out of the total arrested, 35 were prosecuted, resulting in 30 convictions, while 159 were granted temporary permit, raising over 3.8 million kwacha in revenue. Additionally, 126 individuals were deported, 15 refugees relocated, and 68 remain in detention. Authorities also seized 25 gold detectors during the Mufungwe operations. Surveillance has since been heightened along key routes to intercept illegal entrants and suspicious movements. A 39-year-old Malawian national and former postgraduate medical student, Michael Piri, has been arrested by Kawata police for obtaining money by false pretense. According to police spokesperson Ray Hamonga, Piri allegedly posed as a doctor at the University Teaching Hospital, UTH, and defrauded Susan Nambeya, 42, of Kanyama compound out of 20,000 kwacha. He claimed that he could help secure surgery for Hassan through the hospital's social welfare system. The incident occurred on August 15, 2025. After collecting money, the suspect vanished and was only apprehended on September 17, 2025. Pili is in custody and is expected to appear in court soon. Police have warned the public to be cautious of individuals posing as medical staff in hospitals, stressing that anyone found engaging in such fraud will be prosecuted.
Kawata Police Station yesterday, the 7th of September 2025, at 13 hours, detained Michael Piri, a Malawian national age 39, and a former postgraduate medical student at a named university for the offense of obtaining money by false pretenses. Facts of the case are that on the 15th of August 2025, at 15:30 hours, the suspect Wallace, doing part-time work at the university hospital, encountered Susan Zambia, a female aged 42 of Kanyama compound, whose son had been admitted for surgery. The suspect is alleged to have falsely introduced himself as a medical doctor at UTH and deceitfully offered to assist her secure her son's surgery through social welfare. He went on to obtain cash amounting 20,000 kwacha out of the 40,000 kwacha required under the pretext that he would facilitate the procedure when in fact not. After receiving the money, the suspect disappeared and remained at large until yesterday, the 17th of September 2025, when he was spotted and apprehended. He is currently in police custody and will appear in court soon. The Zambia Police Service strongly warns members of the public to be vigilant against fraudsters who masquerade as medical professionals in order to swindle unsuspecting families, especially in hospitals where patients and guardians are often vulnerable. Let it be made clear that any person found engaging in such fraudulent activities will be pursued relentlessly and brought before the law without exception. Thank you.
We go for our first break. Do join us on the other side as we bring to you more in local stories.
Bami wamwene kukupa basofu ate gift ya wedding wewe
kabampo kai honto kweswako
wei
sebo bujiti bajita kuti humbwa wa arwa kumumpa muzo
ale
they give one zo
basa sunu tusegelela akupobola nguzu ya mwanesu musanko yulage mwana mujende
tamdori ndira
honeymoon yansa yebo tuni kurya honeymoon ndete kuya kusaka ka kupange maloko mbo tuni kukhala amije kuno mudaro lo bagamba kuti utaka kuti nantaka mihi mulusaka ishindi mubwa kutabaga ndijite claustration bagandi sibe buya baga kuhema jana
iwe amanyiri munganda mwana unkira mafi ya ng'ombe apa peni na da ng'ombe muno
Lucky do you know me? Do you know my wife? Have you seen my wife?
Chiriku. Urefu atoka ni mochari mpia.
Maybe I should go to the doctors.
Bambira ma doctor ati wabora hipondo tu.
Ah.
Chikaringa byani bantu nawe chakaringa byani ko. Oh.
Chachiringo kumichiringanya pa mulesu wa mafuta.
Wow. I'm so impressed mura. Pesi ndali kwamba bakuti. Aya mahuta anunkira musimba. Imwe mwakasuba.
Health Minister Elijah Muchima has directed the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, to tighten internal controls in the management and distribution of medical supplies. Dr. Muchima expressed concern over the distribution of medicines that risk expiring before use, calling it a wasteful. He also instructed management to procure a large incinerator to effectively dispose of expired drugs. He warned that theft of medicines will not be tolerated and those found wanting will face prosecution. Muchima further announced that Zambia has recorded a total of 174 cholera cases in Mpulungu district of Northern Province, with 2 deaths confirmed since the outbreak last month. Health Minister Elijah Muchima gave the update in Lusaka today, assuring the nation that government is scaling up interventions to contain the disease. Meanwhile, Dr. Muchima has appointed Jen Banda as Acting Director General of ZAMSA, replacing Dr. John Kanchimba. A new board will be announced later.
Underscoring the need for regional cooperation. Government, through the Ministry of Health and the Zambia National Public Health Institute, with support from partners, has scaled up interventions across all response pillars. Cholera treatment centers are operational, surveillance is being strengthened, households are receiving cholera water quality monitoring is also ongoing. And communities are being sensitized through churches, markets, schools, and door-to-door visits. We successfully deployed the oral cholera vaccine campaigning in Brungu, achieving 100% coverage of target population. This remarkable achievement reflects strong community acceptance and commitment to protecting families from cholera. However, new cases are emerging in areas beyond those initially covered. We are preparing to extend the oral cholera vaccine to other high-risk areas. Within Imbrungu, Nsama and Imbala districts, with the target to vaccinate an additional 200,000 people in the next 2 weeks. While we focus on the emergency control, we are also working with partners to strengthen long-term water and sanitation systems. Our goal is to control cholera by 2030, and we are committed to investing in sustainable solutions that benefit our communities. We are collaborating with our colleagues in Tanzania and strengthening point-of-entry screening services to address.
Government has engaged Applied Sciences Technology Limited to conduct an independent assessment of Sino Metals Leach Zambia Limited pollution incident in Chambishi. Water Development and Sanitation Minister Collins Nzovu says the contract was cleared by the Attorney General and signed with the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA. Preliminary findings show 51,800 cubic meters of water were discharged, far below the speculated 1.5 million cubic meters. Government says Sino Metals remains responsible for the cleanup under the polluter pays principle. Cleanup operations have already begun, and final conclusions will follow the independent assessment. The minister has called for calm and urged collaborations from stakeholders.
Ladies and gentlemen, the law is very clear. Those responsible for causing pollution are legally obliged to bear the full cost of management, including prevention, control, and remediation. Only when a polluter fails to comply with directives issued by ZEMA or WAMA does government through ZEMA intervene to undertake such activities, with the cost remaining the responsibility of the polluter. In this case, government has done just that, as it has adhered to the polluter pays principle provided under the Environmental Management Act and directed Sino Metals Leach Zambia Limited to bear the full cost of all activities related to the pollution incident of 18 February.
The Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation has rolled out emergency measures to address erratic water supply in Lusaka and towns on the Copper Belt. In Lusaka's Mtendere East and Kalikiliki, Lusaka Water and Supply Sanitation Company has deployed bowsers, repaired 40 lines, and begun replacing a leaking reservoir. Minister Collins Nzovu says similar interventions are underway in Chingola, Chililabombwe, Mufulira, and Ndola. He assured residents of government's commitment to restoring constant water supply and investing in long-term solutions.
Water supply lines to Kameza, Kakoso, Mine Township and Town Center. Projects in Nakatindi, James Spiriward and Concord Township are also underway, while the Kakoso South and Old Plots project, which will benefit over 600 households, is on course. To further improve supply, the replacement of the 5.5 kilometer DN500 pipeline from Kafue intake to Chilabombe water treatment plant at a total cost of about 87 million kwacha has been approved and will be funded by government. In Mufulira, shortages have affected Kankoyo, Mupambe, Kamuchanga, Kalukanya, Francis Mukuka, Fairview, Eastleigh and High Coast areas. And to address this critical water shortage, rehabilitation of the Kafue and Chiwolia water treatment plants and network is ongoing. The Mopani copper mines plant and river intakes are also being restored, including a 2.1 kilometer pipeline project in Kankoyo, which is actually nearing completion. Government again has since approved a budget of about 110 million kwacha to fully realize these interventions, including construction of the 8.5 kilometer DN40 pipeline from the Kafue treatment plant to Kamuchanga. To meet rising demand in low-income areas, standalone systems have been established in Mokambo, Kawama East, Murundu, Zimba, and Kansunswa. Additionally, 3 standby diesel generators have been installed to power booster stations in Kasompe, that's in Chingola, Fairview, and Kamchanga and Mufulira to mitigate load shedding. Government indeed acknowledges that interruptions are linked to ongoing rehabilitation works which require temporary shutdowns of treatment plants. In Ndola, the ministry is also pleased to announce that Kafue Water and Sanitation Company has connected hundreds of households in Ndola.
The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has handed over 580 laptops to all 116 local authorities across Zambia, reinforcing its commitment to improving service delivery and advancing digital governance. Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Nicholas Piri, described the handover in Lusaka as a historic milestone. He noted that such a comprehensive ICT package for the councils is rare and aims to enhance transparency, accountability, and responsiveness in local governance. Permanent Secretary for Administrations, Dr. Gabriel Pollen, emphasized that digital transformation is central to good governance. He said the laptops are part of deliberate interventions to equip councils with tools needed to serve citizens better. We go for our second break. Do join us on the other side as we bring to you international and sports news. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for staying with us, and now we jump to our international news. More than 40 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli air and ground assaults across the Gaza Strip since dawn, with at least 35 deaths reported in Gaza City, where Israel continues its major offensive despite growing international pressure and threats of sanctions. Meanwhile, 4 more people have died from acute malnutrition in the past 24 hours, pushing the total number of deaths linked to Israel's starvation policy to 435, including 147 children. A senior Hamas official has spoken out after narrowly surviving a targeted Israel attack in Qatar, detailing how several leaders escaped a barrage of missile attacks. In a controversial statement, Israel's far-right finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, described Gaza as a potential real estate bonanza and revealed that discussions with the United States are underway regarding plans for the territory's future. Since the war began in October 2023, at least 65,141 Palestinians have been killed and 165,925 wounded. Thousands remain buried under rubble. On the Israeli side, 1,139 people were killed during the October 7 attacks, with approximately 200 taken captive. Still in international news, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and US President Donald Trump have signed a major nuclear energy agreement aimed at expanding low-carbon power generation in both nations. Dubbed the Atlantic Partnership for Advanced Nuclear Energy, the deal will fast-track construction of new nuclear reactors to meet growing energy demands, particularly from AI data centers and heavy industries. As part of the agreement, Centrica and US firm X Energy will develop up to 12 advanced modular reactors in Hartlepool, projected to power 1.5 million homes and create 2,500 jobs. In Nottinghamshire, Heltec of USA, EDF Energy of France, and UK-based Tritax will build small modular reactors-powered data centers in a project worth $11 billion. The partnership will also strengthen ties between Rolls-Royce and BWXT, building on existing collaborations to advance nuclear technologies. We go for our final break. Do join us on the other side as we bring to you sports news.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Thank you very much for staying with us, and now for our sports news. Zesco United has landed safely at Leon Mba International Airport in Libreville aboard Ethiopian Airways flight ET925, touching down at 13:55 hours, 14:55 Central African Time. The team is now awaiting a connecting flight to Franceville, where they will prepare for their 2025-2026 Total Energy CAF Confederations Cup first preliminary round match against FC 105. The stage is set for Saturday's showdown on September 20th, 2025 at 15 hours Central African Time at the Franceville Stadium. That sports item brings us to the end of tonight's news bulletin, but before we go, let's take a quick recap at the stories that made headlines. HH tasks provinces to build self-sustaining economies. Over 500 foreigners arrested for illegal gold mining in Zambia. Malawian national arrested for fraud at UTH. And in international news, death toll in Gaza rises as Israeli strikes kill over 40 Palestinians. And in sports news, Zesco lands safely in Gabon. We would like to thank you for choosing to watch Icu TV. Remember, you can catch these stories and many more on our platforms. We are found on LinkedIn, X, TikTok, and on Facebook, of course. Or you can visit our website at www.icutvzm.com. I have been your anchor, Emmanuel Zimba, and I say good night.